Before we get started, I want to ask an important question of each of you and just take stock of where you are academically. And I know that studying at university is not an easy thing and it's full of challenges, but ideally you're all working with some sort of target in mind and you've decided what you might want to do with your life. And that's a really important question because what we want to do is obviously find something that is interesting to us, something that we maybe have passion for, and something that we can make a living at and support ourselves and our families and pay off our student loans, things like that. But this is a really important question. What do you want to do with your life? And tell you a little bit about myself. I think most of you know my name is Tim Kohut. I'm an architect and a teacher, and I've been working in Los Angeles since the mid 1990s. And before I moved to Los Angeles, when I graduated from the University of Illinois, I decided I wanted to do something different, so I joined the Peace Corps. And I decided I would use my architectural skills early in my career in a place that people needed assistance. And so they sent me to Honduras and Central America, and I found the opportunity to work with a development agency that was taking money from donations from people in the developed world, and they were directing it towards rural development and poor families and building infrastructure and schools and health centers and things like that. And I was able to actually get involved with some environmental issues. And so here I am in 1990, towards the end of my Peace Corps service, and I was installing small PV systems, photovoltaic systems on rural housing, these small panels that would feed a car battery and charge the car battery just enough so that when the sun went down, residents could turn a light switch on and suddenly they had light where they didn't have light before, and they had a little bit of power to turn on a radio or television. And it was life-changing for those people, and for me it was life-changing as well. And I came back from the Peace Corps and I decided that I wanted to sort of continue on that route. So I went back to school and got a master's in architecture and a master's in urban planning at UCLA. And then I started working in affordable housing, where I've spent most of my career. And here's an interesting project that I worked on that was finished last year. This is a project for a community of friends called the Silver Star Apartments in Inglewood, adjacent South Central Los Angeles. And it is a zero net energy project, meaning that it's got enough renewable energy on the roof to power all the electricity needs for that project. And it's a continuation from my journey and allows me to continue to use my skills in sort of innovative ways and help architects and project teams make good choices about how we can get to zero net energy. These are solutions available to us in complex problems, but this is the pathway for the future. We'll be talking about housing a little bit later in the quarter. A lot of interesting things in this project. The large PV system is 97 kW, which is about 1,000 times bigger than that first PV panel I put on that house in Santa Barbara, Honduras. It's got a solar thermal system. You can see the tanks on the slide here. It's got some high efficiency HVAC equipment here. The PV system on the roof covers all the roofs. All of this is PV photovoltaic panels. And then we did things like innovative solar shading. These are designed in such a way that they provide just enough light when it's cold out, but also they south facing, they protect the windows from heat gain when it gets too hot. These are the solar thermal panels that preheat the hot water on the roof and feed that hot water down to the solar thermal storage tanks here, where the water is distributed to the units. So there's a lot of interesting things in this project, and it does a lot in terms of reducing energy use and carbon emissions. And it's a lot of fun to work on it. It's projects like this that really excite me these days. So I found a lot of satisfaction, and I've stayed on a path that I started on more than 25 years ago, and it's been enjoyable, and I've not lost my passion for what I do. I want you to think about your steps as you go through the rest of your studies and you start venturing out into your career. I am hoping all of you can find something that you're passionate about and something that you're able to do and enjoy doing it and making a living at the same time. Onward, we'll talk about why sustainability is important in this lecture.